Hello and welcome once again to Transformer Review Offs. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm doing a crossover with Star Wars. So our review off today will be Darth Vader versus Anakin Skywalker. So Vader, he's a big guy. You remember that scene in Empire Strikes Back where he was wearing giant bat ears on his shoulders? Me neither. But he's pretty impressive. He's really broad-chested. He's got goofy extendo legs, which I'll just say this right now, I am not entirely certain I'm transforming these guys properly. I think you're supposed to do this. Certainly if you don't, he can't stand. But it looks really goofy. He comes with a flaming lightsaber, because lightsabers do that. He also has lights and sound. Very true. And then the light stays on for like 10 seconds for no reason. But he does at the very least look like Darth Vader wearing a Star Destroyer. Could be worse. As for Anakin, I want you to get a really good look at his face. My God, what's wrong with his face? Not only does he have that enormous scar across his eye, which I think was in the movie. I didn't really watch those first 3 movies very closely, but he looks like he hasn't eaten in months. The whole skeleton hollowed out cheekbones thing is just really creepy. And again, he's wearing a starfighter. Now, if you'll notice, I switched out the big doofy shield just to show you that he comes with 2 lightsabers so he can dual wield. That shield is a real piece of work, because it goes onto the clip on the underside of his arm, so you take and swing his arm around like that, and that's how he carries it. It's really stupid. He also comes with a pair of blasters that take little missiles here. Let me... Boop. You can actually attach them together like this, and again, stick them on the underside of his arm, or you can have them separate, and they have little pegs that can go in his arms. These missiles actually fire very nicely, and even better, the lightsabers can be fired out of these. They don't work quite as well as the missile fire ports on the alt mode, but the lightsabers are missiles, and that's kind of awesome. So Darth Vader gets the point for this mode, if only because he's eaten a sandwich in recent memory. So, on to the transformation. Here is where I give you a big reveal. If you haven't figured it out already, this is in fact the same toy. And if I do that and I do that, well, it didn't exactly work. There we go. Got his helmet on. But yeah, this is the same toy. This is in fact a quadruple changer. It changes from Darth Vader to Anakin Skywalker to a Star Destroyer to a Jedi Starfighter. More about that later. Transforming him is a real pain in the ass. That waist swivel thing, which actually, to transform him into anything, he has to be in Anakin mode first. Oh, he didn't say anything. He has a very smarmy voice. I don't recall him actually sounding like that.
We've got him right where we want him.
Yeah. But he has to be in Anakin mode in order to be transformed, and it's a lengthy process that involves using those blasters I mentioned earlier and the shield as parts of the starfighters. So I actually have no points to award in this case, because there's basically only one way to transform it. Transforming them between Anakin and Vader mode is just a matter of how much black you want to show. You can spin the legs around, you can spin the arms around. Of course, the main thing is just spinning the helmet around. And that's far easier than it used to be after I figured out that you have to have one of the back flaps in a certain configuration in order to not get everything in the way. So we're going to go straight to the alt mode discussion, and I'll start with the Star Destroyer just as soon as I finish this. Alright, so, Star Destroyer first. This is awesome. This thing is huge, and it looks like a Star Destroyer. It's got lights and sound again that don't apparently work. There we go. But of course it is a bit of a shell forming. You see the entire shield is here. The blasters make up part of the sides, and there are numerous problems with it, notably that those blaster side panels do not peg in completely. There are 3 pegs, and the bottom one doesn't fit. So you can't tell from far off, but if you look closely, you can see that this bottom edge right here is not aligned properly. That said, it's a really cool Star Wars toy. I mean, it's a Star Destroyer. It's awesome. It's enormous. And you don't get to see that very often. Switching from Star Destroyer to Jedi Starfighter mode is just a matter of switching things around pretty much. You flip it over, you move a couple of components around. It's slightly inexplicable. So, Jedi Starfighter. Now the first thing is, I've seen another crossover toy that looks like this that's called a Republic Starfighter, so they have no idea what they're talking about. The nice thing is it does at least have a very different profile from the Star Destroyer. You'll see the blasters are turned into the engines. This command tower just hangs out at the bottom. Unfortunately, there are obvious arms on the side. The lights and sounds are connected to the missile launcher, which, let's see if I can do this without losing it. There we go. Like I said, they fire real nicely, but this thing looks stupid. So, 2 points for Darth Vader, because the transformation doesn't count. He's obviously the better half of this duo, and I have to say, this thing has really soured me on crossovers. There's like 1 or 2 other Star Wars toys that don't look terrible. There's an Iron Man that turns into an SUV. I really don't want to get those anymore. I saw this in the store and I was like, wow, it's Darth Vader and he turns into 3 things and I gotta have it, and that's how they made their sale, and I'm not getting any more. So stay tuned next time when I'll dive back into the G1 goofiness with Micromaster combiners.